When I saw the reports of the U.S. government planning to investigate UAPs, I said to myself, what's a UAP? And then you read the fine print, and it's unidentified aerial phenomenon. And I said to myself, that kind of sounds like UFO. But regardless whether we're talking about UFOs or UAPs, both of them refer to stuff happening in the sky and you don't know what it is. Period. Okay? We can agree on that because that's what the U stands for, unidentified. If there's something in the sky that you later identify, it goes from being a UFO to an IFO, an identified flying object, and then you move on. Why should the government be interested in UFOs? Seems to me if something over our head could possibly pose a threat to us, to our safety, to our health, our economy, who are you going to call? Call the military, the Air Force. I'm not surprised that there's governmental level military interest in trying to figure out what is happening in the sky among objects you can't otherwise identify. No problem with that. Allocate some portion of the Pentagon budget to identifying them. People have come to equate UFOs with aliens, which is a curious equation in our brains because it goes something like this. There are lights in the sky doing something I've never seen anything do before. I can't explain it. I don't know what it is. Therefore, it's a visiting alien from another planet. So what we tend to do is explain away our ignorance with aliens. Now, that's just intellectually lazy. Aliens can't have done all of that. It happens on many levels. The people who see the pyramids, and rather than credit the African culture who created them, because you don't know how somebody did it thousands of years ago, you can't figure it out, and you're not giving them the intellectual credit for having accomplished it, so you say, aliens helped them. It's a common sort of fallback position. What I would say is, as a scientist, you learn to embrace the unknown. You encounter something you don't know what it is, I want to find out more. And you don't assert that you know what it is after you've just admitted you don't know what it is. You don't know what it is? Let's perform more experiments. Let's get better data. Let's keep investigating it.
UFOs, the thing is, no matter what, they have already made up their mind. We have been visited. There is life outside of our solar system. Aliens are among us. Crop circles, all this stuff. And my thing is like, if it weren't for movies, none of this crap would exist. All of this crap comes out of movies. It's Hollywood. Hollywood has fueled our obsession with UFOs and alien life, and I really believe that. But you being a scientist, I'm interested. What do you guys in your community, looking out into space for your entire life, how do you view UFOs?
First of all, I love me some aliens. Nobody doesn't love the aliens.
Okay.
Right? That would be a discovery of all of civilization. If aliens showed up and we sat down and had tea with them. Actually, if they showed up and we did anything with them,
Right.
whether or not we served tea. So
Most likely they would serve tea while they eat us.
See the movies, guys.
I'm telling you, the movies, it's all movies.
So let me offer just a couple of perspectives, just so we can. Let me orbit it first with perspectives, and then I'll land in the middle by the end.
Okay.
So first of all, notice how frequently aliens are hostile to us as portrayed in movies. And that goes back to the Twilight Zone, and before, of course. One of the more famous episodes, they had aliens in many episodes, by the way, but this is back in the 1960s, late 50s. They had an episode called To Serve Man, where aliens came and they helped us grow crops and they gave us secrets to our energy needs and there was peace all over the earth and they invited us to go back and visit them. And they accidentally left behind a book called To Serve Man within their own sort of hieroglyphic kind of text. And so they got all the best cryptographers looking at it. And after everyone has already decided, yeah, let's go visit their planet because they're obviously superior to us. And we're all very well fed because the crops are bounty all over the earth. And then they find out that to serve man is a cookbook.
That's awesome.
It's a cookbook. So
Great.
now, it is rumored. I've not studied this, but I've read studies that to a child, it is far worse to be eaten than to just die. So of all the ways to die, they're not even afraid of other ways to die. But the idea of being eaten is particularly horrifying.
I think to anybody.
That's what. Well, okay,
Not just
but
children.
especially children. And that's why the fairy tales are always involved.
The Brothers Grimm. The witch eats you. The ogre eats you. The troll.
They don't
eats
just stab you.
Right.
They don't shoot you. They don't throw you off a cliff. They eat you.
eat you.
And this is terrifying. And I think this is why we, as children, deeply respect T-Rex. Ask any kid who their favorite animal is. It's T-Rex because you respect anything that can eat you.
Right.
And then you bring them over to astrophysics and say, what's your favorite object in astrophysics? It's black holes because they can eat you.
Well,
okay,
cool.
All right, so here's the thing. So this evil alien concept, it feels like we are basing this on actual evidence of how we treat each other rather than on any notion of how aliens would actually treat us. So in other words, we are projecting onto aliens what we already know we do to each other. Because in the history of civilization, dare I even use that word in these examples, you have a highly technologically able culture descends upon a less technologically able culture, particularly in the era of colonization of the world, and it never boded well for the culture that had less technology.
Yeah, whoever was getting visited got screwed. That's all there was to it.
Okay? And we do this to our own species. So I think our fear of aliens derives not from knowledge of how they would behave, but from knowledge of how we would behave. Not with each other, and probably how we would treat other aliens as well. So I think that's what's going on there. That's my first point. Second, all the aliens portrayed, nearly all the aliens portrayed, they walk, they talk, they have 2 arms, legs, nose, eyes, mouth, head. Look at E.T., look at the aliens in Close Encounters of the Third Kind. Look at, even in the movie series Alien followed by Aliens and that.
Right.
That
Alien
that,
Insurrection.
while it didn't specifically have legs, it was vertebrate, right? It had like a face.
Right.
A face is a very vertebrate thing to have.
Yeah.
All right. If you're not a vertebrate in this world, you don't have much of a face.
However, having 2 mouths, a mouth within a mouth, that was not a bad touch.
Well, that's the getting eaten part.
Yes.
That's a little more terrifying. Okay. So think about it. Amoebas don't have mouths.
Right.
Trees don't have mouths.
Right.
We just keep going down the list. And like I said, the traditional face that we think of, it tends to be a vertebrate phenomenon. And so we are then making aliens vertebrates. Okay?
Right.
The movie Arrival, that was not a vertebrate. That was a septopod.
Right, that's right.
Yeah. So I like it when they try to go a little, they step outside of the comfort box of how we think aliens should be. And it means, an actor's not getting a payday that day because they're not donning an alien costume in order to do this. In the movie Arrival, which I recommend, it has some strong points in it.
Movie.
It's a cool movie, yeah. The aliens come and they have these pods positioned all around the world. By the way, the hubris of us to imagine that aliens would care about us or be curious about us.
Right.
That's hubris. It's like we're so interesting that another species that can travel across the galaxy is going to study our behavior. When you're walking down the sidewalk and you see a worm, do you pause and say, "Gee, I wonder what that worm is thinking. Gee, let me figure out how this works."
No, you put it on a hook and you go get dinner. That's what you do.
So just to believe that we are so interesting, that something as advanced as a civilization with flying saucers to cross the galaxy would sit there and want to analyze us. So that's hubris, okay? So there's that. But also, consider how many photographs are taken every day. Everybody's got a smartphone, right? Almost everybody. High resolution. And if you're not taking a photo, you're taking a video. And so if there's something unusual and interesting, you're taking a video of that. We have video of stuff you never got videos of before, like cops beating up black folk. Okay, right. I grew up. That was happening all the time.
Right.
Nobody had video.
Nobody had video of it.
It was cop's word against the black person's word. We now have video of everything that was once rare.
And it still makes no difference. So
Chuck, edit